Hi, welcome to another episode of the Sankofa Pan-African series. What is the fourth industrial revolution and what role is emerging technology expected to play in our world? And what can governments, civil societies in Africa, and the African diasporas do so that we're not left behind?
They believe represents a fundamental change in the way we live, work, and relate to one another. For many years, we have separated ICT from all other jobs. So you can be a doctor, a lawyer, and then you say, oh, you're a programmer, you're an ICT. The fourth industrial revolution is a new chapter in human development where it's anticipated that its extraordinary technology advances to impact every area of our lives. Every sector, every segment, every industry, technology will be impacted. And these advances are merging.
Can you give some examples? Say I'm someone who makes clothes. I mean, I work in the fashion industry or in the catering industry. Oh, how would this revolution affect me?
How you source your cloth. It may mean how you process creating cloth, wherever you get your raw materials from and who actually produces it. It might increase your actual suppliers. It may mean how you sell that cloth. Will it be online? Will it be through stand machines? It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It will change how you process it right now. Because it's meant to be a physical, digital, and biological world coming together. So even something as simple as artificial intelligence and using your eyesight to open your eyes, to open your phone. Correct. So it's involved in every area of your life. And I don't think we should be afraid of it. Because I know I am a Christian and we have all different theories of how prophecy will be fulfilled. But technology is like anything, it can be used for good or bad. And just as there are opportunities, there are also some challenges. And people of African descent need to be aware. And we need to be involved. And we need to be around the table and in the conversation. Whether it is artificial intelligence, whether it is using facial technology for crime, for migration, for immigration, these conversations are happening. This testing is happening across the world. Some of the testing, as I said in the last panel, they cannot even recognize a Black woman. They're thinking you're a man. So we need to knock on these doors and make sure whatever is happening, we are part of it. And we see the emerging technology. We see cryptocurrency. You might equate cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is what has made cryptocurrency popular. Everybody wants to invest in.
I didn't know there was a difference between cryptocurrency and Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is an example of cryptocurrency. So there are other types of cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is the most popular one. If you bought it how many years, it was almost nothing. Now is 10, 20,000, depending on the rate is being traded at. Then you have blockchain. Blockchain is meant to be a decentralized way of not having any one person managing systems, but protecting your organization. So it might be good for government if you have land titles and you don't want people changing land titles. If you have supply chain for your medical resources, certain things that you want people to access, but not have the power to change who is creating it. And then as we know, artificial intelligence, we know robotics and all the different types. So, I mean, now with COVID-19, you see some places in Japan and even Singapore, the robots are cleaning the airport. The robots are delivering the food to somebody's hotel room. So it is changing. Even if you're in the catering world, it's changing. It may not be a need for you as a caterer anymore. We use a robot. But that might seem far-fetched depending on where you are, but not to dismiss that is happening in some areas of the world. And once the technology is open, it's just a matter of time before it is being replicated in other areas of the world. Because it's about business, cost-benefit analysis. So if it makes more sense, yeah. But what I think is important, and I do think we should not put our head in the sands like ostrich and behave as if everything technology is good. You must be aware of the ills, but look at the opportunity. Microsoft expects 149 million jobs in technology over the next 5 years. software development, data analysts, cybersecurity. These opportunities are expected. Are we preparing our children for this? Are we ourselves creating our own software? Are we just going to buy what somebody has created for them? Don't we have the resources in-house to do it? Can we train our own young people to do it? Not even our young people, even our older people. They cannot be left behind. Technology is not that long. You have a smartphone, right? You know how to use a smartphone? You can learn the technology just as much. This is a good time. The timing is more urgent because of COVID-19 and the decline and the stagnation, a number of people will and have lost their jobs because of COVID-19.
So whether we like it or not, the fourth industrial revolution is upon us.
Yeah.
We have to get involved first so that our children can benefit, and also so that we do not become victims of it.
Correct.
That's what I've taken from what you've told me. Because so it's not just so that we benefit. We also need to, ensure that we do not become victims of it. And the only way to do that is knowing what it's about and getting more of our people involved in this fourth industrial revolution. Right?
Correct.
Thank you. Now, so what can governments, civil societies, and youths do more of, to become more participatory in this fourth industrial revolution?
There are some African governments who are doing fantastic jobs. So
Rwanda.
Correct. Rwanda is using robotics in health.
But even Kenya is not doing too badly.
Correct. Kenya, Senegal has used it for COVID-19. Even Nigeria, we have a lot of young people doing online banking for the unbanked digital payments. A lot of opportunities.
Now, I was trying to talk about the governments that are actually focusing. Yeah, I know how Nigerian youth, you can never keep them down.
Correct.
But I don't know if our government is doing enough. When you compare them to Rwanda, Kenya, and Senegal that you just mentioned, I don't know. I mean, you're in the field. You'll be better informed.
So I would like to talk about the Rwanda model because I think for government, Rwanda is doing what more governments should do. Mm-hmm. They are putting their mouth where they have. They're not just saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. They are seeking the partnerships. They are using the United Nations and other multilateral organizations. They are partnering with UNCTAD, ITC. They're getting the resources. They're getting the training. They are using the pilot projects. They're testing it, and then they're rolling it out. Governments need to do that. You may not feel very secure. You may not have the expertise for these things, but there are organizations with the expertise that you are a member of, that you can access, that you can reach out and say, help me, I want to build an e-commerce strategy. Do you have UNCTAD, you have WTO with experts who will help you draft that. You can reach out to these multilateral organizations, whether it be universities. You can tap into existing tools and resources. Even if you feel, I don't have an expert, I do not have the resources for this, I am not sure I want it. Because why would you invest in tools, in machinery, if you're not well guided? Tap into those who have been doing it. Learn from others. Learn to partner with other organizations, whether it's South, whether it's a Singapore, whether it's a Rwanda. Look at what they are doing. And you're not only finding governments, even for NGOs. There are other NGOs all over the world doing this. If you want to bring it to your countries, you reach out to them, ask to partner with them, ask to learn with them, do a webinar, and understand how you can bring that home. The African Development Bank has a Coding for Employment initiative, establishing 130 ICT centers for excellence in Africa, training 234,000 youths for employability and entrepreneurship to create over 9 million jobs. There's the African Development Bank, there's African Union. Tap into what is there. For young people, I will say to you, tap into the organizations, but there are opportunities online. They're free online courses. Harvard, NYU, MIT, free online courses. You could even, I was reading one of the young man who said, I think he was from a West African country, that he learned to create a movie from watching YouTube.
It's awesome.
So we can always knock on them and say, you need to do more, you need to do better, but there are always people who are doing a good job that you can learn from. That you do not, my dad used to say, where there's a will, there's a way. If you want to do something, you find a way to do it. You find somebody who's doing what you want to do, you invite yourself, you create a relationship, and you get it done. And I am a woman of faith. I believe once you start something, God will help you.
Thank you. Now, finally, I mean, I know you look younger than you really are, but I also do know that you started very young. You know, that's why you've got to where you are, you know, at the age you're at now. So for young people who are watching you out there and want to get involved with their communities and just make some kind of change, the kind of change that you have been, you know, doing, what tips, what advice, what suggestions do you have for them?
I did an interview recently for one of the television stations in my country. And my I think she's 20 or 21-year-old niece said to me, you need to tell them your age. Then your story sounds more believable, auntie. So at 41, soon to be 42, I believe...
You started really young.
I believe that you must want more for yourself. You must want. If you are satisfied with the status quo, then you're not going to change anything. You must see there is a problem, and I believe wherever there's a problem, there's an opportunity. And you don't need permission to be great. And you don't have to start, and you don't have to be perfect. All you have to do is start. And what you'll find, once you start, there are like-minded people who will join. Because whenever you have a desire to fix something in the world, sometimes it's something close to you. Sometimes it's your own experience. Sometimes that passion is because some bad experience you've had or something you felt you were disadvantaged. And then you say, you know what? The person who comes behind me should not have that. Or should not have it as I had it. Because then you want to open the door to say, hey, it gets really good, you know. So fight on. The end you will see the results. But I will say to young people that this generation I love. Not that I don't love other generations. They are fearless. They are knocking down that door like, you ain't keeping us out. And I love that about them. I want them to be disciplined. I want them to be patient because it doesn't always happen as and when you want it to happen. So I would encourage you to start with one thing. You could do 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Sometimes my mother used to say you're doing too many things, but some people gifted are doing many things. Start with one thing that you feel passionately about and seek. I always personally do my research. Find out who's doing it, wherever in the world. Can I learn from them? Can I tap into your resources? Can I create a relationship with you? Online, YouTube, LinkedIn. Learn from others. Be humble because you don't know it all. You always be teachable. Somebody always knows a little bit more. Somebody has done something longer than you've been doing it. Somebody's a little bit of more expert than you are. And I say, go after it. Whatever it is you want to change, whatever it is that is unique to your issues or your challenges, go after it. Because if there's a will, there's a way. And nothing is impossible with God.
5, 10 years from now, what can we expect you to be involved with? What would you be?
That has been the question. That has been the question even for me. Some say politics, and I do feel strongly about charity begins at home. So yeah, I want to make the world a better place. But as blessed as my country has been, I still think I can impact the world somehow. I do think encouraging people of African descent in the world of ICT is something I feel very strongly about, because I think we are a ridiculously intelligent and creative people, and we should not limit ourselves to certain fields and not enter because we're either fearful or we don't have the networks. I really want to push and encourage that. And hopefully I'll be doing something with Mama Africa.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Thank you very much. Madam Ambassador Makeda Antoine Cambridge.
You're welcome. You're
It's a
welcome.
pleasure talking to you. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not already done so. Like our videos and share with your friends. See you next time.